Hello guys, and welcome to tutorial number 18. So in this video we're actually gonna have a continuation of the previous video. So if you haven't watched that already, then go back and watch the video so you can be clear with what we're gonna do now. So in the previous video we just added in this background image, and we took a look at some of the properties or some extra function or some sub functions that the background has. Okay, so now what we want to do now is we want to actually take a look at the shorthand for the background property. So we can actually go ahead and use the sub functions, but it's kind of sometimes tiring, so we want to actually make use of shorthands. So what you can do is, let's take this out, go ahead and save this, and let's just take a look at that. Okay, so the image is gone, and one thing you're gonna have to know is the shorthand for background. Okay, so let me just go ahead and paste the code in here. Okay, so this is the code I want you to take note of. This is the rule or the shorthand function, and this is how it works. So when making use of a background shorthand, the function name is gonna be background, right? So just background, no other thing, just the name background, right? Okay, and the background property has this value. So it has the value of BG color, which is the BG here actually stands for background. Okay, so BG color, which is the background color, and that just defines the color of the background. Then next we have the background image, and which is the image like the one we just took out just now. Then next we have the background position. Okay, so we're gonna look at that now. I actually haven't talked to you guys about positioning yet, but we'll take a look at that very soon. Okay, so also we can actually set the background size together with the position. Then next we can also give a background attachment. Okay, so I haven't actually talked to you guys about background attachment yet, but we're going to take a look at that in a bit. So first of all, let's take a look at background color now. So let's say you give this a color of gray. Okay, so just give this a color of gray. Go ahead and save this. Come back, refresh, and we now have a background color of gray, right? So that's actually how the color property works. So next you want to give this a color. Okay, so we've already given the color. The next property you can see here is the background image, right? So to use the background image, you actually make sure you remember the rule, right? So you go in and use the URL, right? So this is how you actually make use of the background image. So if you watch the previous tutorial, you actually know how to use this, and it's going to be new to you, right? So you go in and put in your single quotation marks, and now you want to add in the URL for your image, which is the location of the image in your root directory. So here, like the previous tutorial, we're still having the same image with the same name and the same file type. So just go in here and say Bitcoin. Okay, JPG. Okay, go ahead and save that. Let's actually take a look at that. So if we just take that out and come here and hit refresh. Okay, so now we have this big image again, and you can see that we no longer have the background color, because what actually happens is this background image overlaps the background color. So technically the background color is still there, but the image is overlapping it, right? So it's just overlapping it. So you can actually, okay, so let's go to the next function now and see the background position. So you can actually say we want to actually reduce the background position. Sorry, we want to actually change the background position. But before we do that, let's just take a look at the size. So let me just say you want to actually give this 200 pixels. Okay, so for size, just go ahead and save this. Come back and hit refresh. Okay, for I think everything didn't actually go well. So let's just leave that out first. I'll take a look at that very soon. Let's give this a background position. So for the position, I said I haven't actually talked to you guys about positioning in CSS yet, right? But we've got quite a number of positions. So we've got the center, we've got the left, we got the right positioning and a few of those, so you guys can go ahead and play around with that and see what values it has. So we just go ahead and save that and refresh this now, and the image is centered. So this is the center of the image, right? So we're not actually seeing the center of the image is now centered along the page, but we can actually see this well because the image is still so very large, right? So we can actually just go ahead and use the all property and add in the color, the cover property on the size. Okay, go back and refresh this and just say refresh this now, and okay, so the image is now showing up. So this is the center of the image, and as you can see here, the image is actually repeating. It's repeating itself, so that's why you can see that one's here and there's another one on the bottom here, right? Okay, so so let's see, I want to actually give this 200 now. Okay, okay, go back, refresh. Okay, so now you can actually see it's having two the image is actually repeating itself, so we're having this repeating function. Okay, so we're supposed to, okay, so what one thing we can actually also do is we can actually stop this from repeating. So one thing I didn't actually add here is right before this background position, we also have the background repeat function, right, or the repeat property rather. Okay, so this is actually how we can tell if we want to make this background repeat or not. So we just go in here right before this background position, you just go ahead and say no repeat, so we don't actually want this to repeat. So okay, go ahead and save this now, and if we come ahead and refresh, you see, so the image is no longer repeating and it's actually centered on the page, just like we did here. So we said center and it's actually centered on the page, right? Okay, so that's actually how you make use of that function. And you can see here, like what I said earlier on, that the background color was still here. You can see the color is still here, the image is just actually overlapping the color or the background color, right? Okay, so let's just say we want to say right here. Okay, save this and refresh, and you can see the image is moved all the way to the right, right? So that's actually how you make use of that. So you can go ahead and play with some other values, or check the browse that, and you see some other placement values of that element. Okay, so that property. So next, now I think we want to actually take a look at the background attachment. So I haven't actually talked to you guys about the background attachment. So in general, what the background attachment does is a very simple function. So what this does is you're gonna actually tell if you want to repeat the element or not. Oh, sorry, did I just say repeat? I mean if you actually want to make the element scrollable or fixed. So if you want the background image to scroll along as, okay, so as you scroll the page up or down, so now we can actually scroll because the image is quite small, so there's nothing to scroll. So but if we go in here and say we just actually duplicate this some lines. Okay, I think I should actually add another tag here first. Okay, so you can do tag here. Okay, go ahead and duplicate this a few lines down now. So we can have something to do. Okay, so if we go ahead and refresh this now, okay, so now we actually have something to screw, right? We can actually screw the page down. Okay, so let's say back here, what we want to do now is instead of giving this giving it a fixed size, you want to say cover. So let's change this to cover and go back here and hit refresh. Okay, so now the image is actually covering the whole page, and if you actually scroll down, you can see the image is scrolling up and down. As we scroll, the image is also scrolling with the scroll bar, so it's going up and down. You can see it clearly. It's going up and it's going down, right? So to actually change that, we can actually make use of the background attachment property. So to do this, you can just say the background attachment property just has two functions, which is screw and fixed. So to change that, you can say fixed, right? Go ahead and save this, come back here, hit refresh, and now if we screw this image, you can see the text is scrolling up and down, but the image is remain fixed, right? The image is not actually screw with the screw bar, it's just fixed, right? So that's actually how that works. It doesn't actually scroll with the page anymore, it's just fixed to that position, right? So that's actually how you make use of that. So, or you can actually make use of the function of screw, which is actually the default function set to it by the browser. So if you go screw now, and you can see the image, just the size of the image actually increased. So as you scroll, it's now scrollable, so the image actually screws with the page. So that's actually how you make use of those functions, and that will be all for this video. So you guys can go ahead and play around with some other values and try some other things out. Use the Google and get some more properties, because this right here has different properties, and size also has different properties. So go ahead, play with that and see what you can actually do, right? So that's it. I'll end this video now and hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. That really means a lot to me. So please, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. Subscribe to my channel and watch another one of my videos, and I'll see you next time.